We're live.
All right, hey, shalom, y'all. Bashim Shabbat. This is Officer Casa Yard 5000 coming out of California. As always, every Monday we got the La Neta show for the ISUPK coming out of here, out of the West Coast. I got my brother Malakma 500 from the West Coast along with us, and I got Officer Baraka Yala 500 out of Canada. You know what I mean? Introduce you guys yourself.
Hey, shalom, Israel, Cuba La Raza, aquí estamos otra vez. We're here another night, you know what I mean? We're going to, give you the la pura neta on things, concerning the raza. I just want to start by saying, this past weekend showed who's really about the raza. This past weekend just showed who's about decolonizing. You know what I mean? I just wanted to add that real quick. I'm going to give the floor, to my Precinct Officer 500, Precinct Officer Baraka Yala. Go ahead, Ak.
Hey, Shalom Israel, Yabashim Shabbat Thumb, to all the brothers, Yabashim Alatan, Bashim Yoshai, to all the sisters. C'est officier 500 Baraka Yala, vous savez déjà. Et comme tous les lundis soirs, on a la Pura Neta, la meilleure émission pour tout négro, latino et amérindien à travers la terre, aux quatre coins du monde. Vous savez, et avec moi, nous avons officier de 5000 Kazakiades et officier de 500 Malakma qui nous joignent à partir du West Coast.
All right, for sure. And we're broadcasting on La Pura Neta Facebook, correct? That's where we're at right now?
Okay.
La Pura Neta Facebook. If you can, please share this this show on Facebook, on YouTube. You know what I mean? Any other platform that you can do it with. So we can share this we can really get out there and bring this show out. Like Malakma was talking about, we're talking about this past New Year, so supposedly New Year's, the incorrect New Year's, according to what is that, the American way, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because really they have implemented like everything else they've implemented a certain year. But of course, if you're Catholic, if you're Christian, if you're any denomination that runs within the Edomite culture, then you're going to be celebrating this as the New Year. Us in the ISUPK or known as Israel, we understand that the New Year is coming still in April, the 1st of April, according to biblical. So the problem here is that you got a lot of people who read the Bible, supposedly read the Bible, or supposedly believe in what they say. Oh, I believe in God, I believe in Christ, I believe in the Bible, but yet they don't follow the celebrations, the high holy days. As for us, we picked up every time a high holy day comes up, Most High in Christ for Commanding General Johanna and the ISUPK, who has led us into the direction of now keeping the holidays that we're supposed to keep, which is of course these holidays, the high holy days is really what it is.
Right.
They're not holidays, they're high holy days. A holiday is one thing, a high holy day is another. The high holy day is the day that you keep for the Lord, and that's exactly what we do. We keep days for the Lord. The holiday, the only good thing about a holiday is that I get paid for not going to work.
Right.
That's the contribution that's given to me on my part, which is I get to not go to work and I get to get paid. Do we go out? Do we hang out? Do we do these things? Of course we do. We're in this kingdom. You can't help but go to the store and see the celebrations. Go to the store and see Halloween things, Christmas things, New Year's things. All these things are around us continually, but we don't have to partake or celebrate, or that 12 o'clock comes around and everyone's out hugging and kissing and celebrating. That's something that we do not participate in. That's something that we push to the side, because that's not our celebration. For la raza, la gente latina, la gente de México, la gente de Centroamérica, una cosa que hay que saber, que el día festivo del Año Nuevo está equivocado. Este enero no es el Año Nuevo, y nuestros ancestros, ellos sabían que este no es el día. Ellos, el calendario, en ninguna manera, el calendario azteca o maya o cualquiera, sean falsos o no, ni allí, siendo que son falsos, ni allí indican que son el Año Nuevo es en enero. Ni eso existe en nuestra cultura mexicana o de Latinoamérica. Nosotros sabíamos que los días festivos caían, o los días que eran para festejar algo, eran días que concedían con las temporadas. ¿verdad? El día de, ¿cómo se dice? El día de siembra, el día de cosechar, el día de traer para el verano, para el invierno. Estos días eran los días que nuestros ancestros cuidaban. ¿Por qué? Porque bien sabían que los días se llevan de acuerdo a lo que es las temporadas. So what I just said is very simple. Like, if you understand what you know, the high holiness and everything, it goes by seasons. The Lord knew that in April was spring, the beginning of a new year, spring. You know, this is when everything comes to life. What is it? Winter, when everything goes, you know, everything falls out, is dead. You know, it's cold. Trees, you know, lose their leaves. Flowers no longer come out. Everything is how we say, like, I'm gonna say, instead of dead, asleep. Even the bears, they know when it's time, because the bears will go and hibernate. They'll go and they'll hide out. They'll go into their caves and they hibernate. The ants, they also know when is the season to collect their food for the coming winter, for the coming, and they know when to come out. Humans, we're the only ones who don't understand a damn thing about it, because of the way we've been taught to conceive and to go into seasons and stuff like that. So that's why we're in confusion. And of course, confusion coming from, of course, you know, the kingdom that we live in today. You know what I'm saying? Even now, I seen I don't know who, man, I should have took the picture down. I think it was a sister who posted a doll of a black baby, and and it has lowering, and it has like a little penis, but it's a female doll. It's a girl doll, but it has a penis. There is the confusion of America right there. You know what I'm saying? There is a confusion of America. Go ahead, jump in on that.
Salak, another one. I just want to say, you know, about the New Year's, right? First of all, for all those woke, so-called woke brothers and sisters out there, you understand, talking about they don't follow after the white man, or they don't even follow after no man. You know, that's just hypocritical in the first place, because, you know, we're following right now, our calendar that we have right now. I mean, you know, that we have in the world right now is basically the Gregorian calendar that we got from the Romans. You understand? So that's number one. Number two, when you celebrate New Year, the date of January the 1st was instilled by the Romans as well, who were Caucasians. Anyway, so they were oppressors, you understand? And y'all always want to talk about, well, I'm woke, I don't follow after no man, or, you know, we're against the system, we're against the white man. But y'all go ahead and celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, New Year's, you understand? Every single pagan celebration that the oppressor gave you and told you to celebrate in the first place. You understand? And not only that, what I want to bring out as well is that celebrating these pagan holidays bring death to our people. Right? We just lost another rapper. What's her name? Gangsta Boo from 3 6 Mafia. She just died from an overdose. You understand? Following New Year. And Salakia, like I was bringing out last week with Officer Malakma, you understand? On the day of Christmas, right? A brother in my zone got killed by officers. And just to correct what I said last week, he didn't get killed in my neighborhood. He got killed in the prison in the city. You understand? He was wrongfully detained and he was beat up to death. And so he was just 21 years old, but it happened on Christmas. You understand? I mean, Lord be with the families. But this is what happens when you don't listen to the ISUPK, when we tell you, stop celebrating these pagan holidays. You understand? I'm just going to paraphrase General Mahayman, right? And Commanding General Yohana, celebrating these holidays bring death. You understand? This Christmas was not merry for many families. New Year's was not happy for the family of Gangsta Boo and the members of 3 6 Mafia. You understand? And that's just, you know, some of the things that we just, you know, hear in the news. I mean, because they just cover it. But what about those deaths that are not covered? You understand? I just read an article from the islands, right? They already started to kill people in the islands. Like, the killing don't stop. Talking about New Year and New Me. You understand? The killings, they don't stop on the islands. We're still murdering each other. Ain't no such thing as New Year, New Me. You understand? We're in New Year. Well, we're in the same hell. We're in the same oppression. You understand? Salaki, other one.
Con, absolutely. Go ahead, Malakma. You had something to say?
No, Salaki, I don't want. I'll just say real quick. You know, I'm trying to, you know, So like you're trying to post this, on pages and channels, but it looks like Facebook trying to, be on some hating shit. So like you, what I want to say, is I wanna start out by letting people know, you know what I mean. If you celebrated the New Year's Eve on Saturday night, if you was there chilling with, all kinds of people, doing the countdown, talk about your Happy New Year, this and that, you forfeited your right to come and tell me anything about what I believe in when it comes to being an Israelite. You forfeited your right to come and tell me that I'm following the white man's book. That what I'm participating in is indigenous erasure. Because if you come and tell me anything, that makes you a hypocrite. You know what I mean? You want to talk about, this is indigenous erasure and this the white man's culture and this and that. When you went and participated in the white man's culture, you celebrated the white man's, high holy day this Sunday, or what is it, Saturday night, right? So you don't tell me anything. You know what? If you were out there celebrating, think about that before you come and try to talk to me about telling me what, saying what I believe in isn't biblical, that is not indigenous, that is not. You just celebrated a holiday that's not indigenous. So just sit down, and be quiet. That's all I would say, Adam. That's all I got to say for right now. Salaki.
Salaki, Adawan. I just want to add on what you also mentioned, right? They just came out with a how you call it? Good night. A transformer doll. You understand?
Right.
Salaki, that's an attack on the children. They're preying on children. And the thing that I was watching Crossland Radio Thursday, right?
Right.
Something said basically, why is the penis on the black girl? You understand? On a black doll. Like why did it have to be a black doll? You understand? Right. They could have put it on a white doll, or they could have made an Asian doll, whatever the case is, but they had to make it on a black doll. You understand? That's just to show you that there is an agenda. You understand? The Skittles people are preying on our children. You understand? They're making sure they're programming them to think, it is normal to have a woman with male genitalia.
Right.
You understand? When it's an abomination. You understand? Not only is it an abomination, but it is not even natural. You understand? There is no such thing. They're trying to normalize, and not only they're trying to normalize, that it's okay to be able to change sex, but by putting genitalia on a doll or a Barbie, whatever the case is, they're sexualizing the children at a very, very young age. You understand? And that's just to show you how evil the white man is. You understand? That's to show you how much of a disgusting, pedophile the white man is, straight up, because he's really trying to prey on the children, to show them like it's okay to have a rod on a girl, and it's okay for young children to see this and experience this. You understand?
Right.
So like, yeah.
God, no, absolutely.
Oh dang, we lost Kazaki out again. No sweat. I'm holding down till he comes back. Let me say this. Like,
devil.
Damn right, you know what I mean? Like, why do they gotta put that on black and brown, babies? You know what I mean?
Karawakan.
That's my question. Go ahead. I don't want no sweat.
And what I was gonna say is, as we go deeper into what's going on in America, you can see that like they've implemented certain things. Like there was a time when there wasn't a Christmas in America, there wasn't a New Year's in America. There was a time when that didn't exist. Believe it or not, there was a time when certain holidays were not celebrated in America. But now as time goes on, they've been implementing these things, and this is where you start to realize that what they begin to put in your, how could I say, into your mind, right, or into their society, they along the way it becomes legit. Like it's what you're gonna do. Like New Year's at one point wasn't celebrated, well now it is. Like it's given. Christmas, same thing, given. There was a time when it was illegal to have Christmas in America. That shit didn't exist. How about Halloween? Halloween also didn't exist. It was illegal to do that in America. But as they do certain things and they make it the norm, they normalize certain things. And today we're seeing the normalization of this that we're talking about. The transsexual, I don't know what to call it, because I know we'll get tagged for it, but this man, abnormal, right? Way of seeing things, the abnormal way of seeing things, the thing that is not correct. This is an abomination, and what they're doing is they're so slowly implementing. Like, a lot of us don't understand how grave this is going to be for 2-3 generations down the line. Like, we don't understand. Like, but we should understand that Christmas became normal, and even though we're in the UPK now, at one point we all accepted it as that's what it is, and we didn't think nothing bad about it. We didn't think nothing irregular about it. Before us, it was kind of like rock and roll. Rock and roll to some old people was like, oh, hell no, that's the devil's music. Rock and roll was like, oh no, you can't play that. To a lot of old people in the 40s, they were like, oh no, that's not the type of music. That's some, but slowly they implemented this and it became the norm. There you go. That's the one. And this that you're looking at now
disgusting.
Is the way they're doing it, where it's going to become the norm because they're educating children that this is normal. They can't educate us no more because we react the way we're reacting now. We're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, hell no. But our children, they begin to see this, and to them, it's normal. And the reason it's normal is because in the household, there's no one to educate the children of what is right and what is wrong. You know what I'm saying? On our end in the UPK, we know to speak about it. We know that this is not going to get past us. We know that this is not normal. And likewise, a lot of us who were in like me, who was educated into the Chicano studies and stuff like that, I didn't see a lot of this stuff that's going on. I was like, come on, man, we Mexican, man, and we gonna stay Mexican. I would see things, I'd be like, hell no, I'm Mexican, bro. I'm raza shit. I'm gonna be like raza forever. And so generations like mine, we did kind of, educate our children. That's why, let's say Lahab and Nakathia and Kasharwan, well, they know from me that it's always been about, Chicano, no military, they know that from me because I've always been one to be outspoken like that. And so the way I spoke kind of brought them up with that mentality. And this is what we're up against again, that now we got to be the ones who speak to our children about this. We can't ignore it. We got to come up and say, just the way they're outright trying to spread it, we also have to be outright about spreading that male and female are normal. And this is not. Salaki, go ahead.
If I could,
go ahead, Adawan.
If I could, I just want to add. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, as I asked earlier. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sure y'all already answered it, but I would just want to reiterate my question, not for the people listening. You know what I mean? Why in the hell is this pushed on black and brown people, man? Why is it got to be a black or brown baby that's got to have this, man? Why don't you put it on a white one? You know what I mean? Like, there's so many movies that it came out to kind of touch on the matter. You know what I mean? There's a episode or there's a series on Disney Plus. I don't know if you guys remember the movie Willow, but they made a series, right? And in the series, there's a character in there, and obviously she's a sister. You know what I mean? Or she looks like a sister. Yeah, she's kind of light skinned, but she has the woolly hair and the features on her. You could tell that she's black. You know what I mean? And of course, what do they make her? They make her a lesbian. The Buzz Lightyear movie, right? The black woman in there has to be a lesbian. We spoke about it last week. That show Hentified. The sister, both of them were sisters. They're a lesbian couple. Black and brown. It's like, why are they pushing this on us? You know what I mean? Like, you oppressors want people to accept that lifestyle. Well, you make your own characters be that, let them be LGBTQ. Don't be forcing that on black and brown people. You know what I mean? Y'all want to y'all want everyone to accept your lifestyle. But you know what? What you come to show me when you do that is that you don't want people to accept you. You're not really about what you claim it is. You're showing me that by doing what you're doing, you're pushing an agenda. You know what I mean? Because would you not have white characters like this? Why isn't it a white baby that's has this? It's got to be a black one because they want you, black and brown man and woman, to be LGBTQ, but they don't want their people to be LGBTQ. And then they push the lie that if you're against LGBTQ, you're with white supremacy. You're no different than a white supremacist and a colonizer because all of a sudden, right? Being for black and brown love between a man and a woman somehow coincides with being with the colonizer. When the colonizer obviously doesn't want you to live like that, they want you to be LGBTQ. It's a lot.
Right.
Let me give the floor back.
It's a lot, y'all. When if I may, yes, then what Officer Malagma said, it's powerful because it's like, why are you pushing, why are you forcing us to accept your lifestyle? Like,
Right.
we're not forcing the LGBTQ to be heterosexual. You understand? We're not forcing these sodomites to love the opposite sex. So why are you forcing us, you understand, to jump in the pack of Skittles with you?
Right.
Yeah. Like make it make sense now. And like we were bringing out last week as well, I mentioned that the pack of Skittles got angry. Why? Because
Right.
they were watching, I think, a movie or a TV show, and it was a heterosexual, like there was a man and woman have engaging in like sexual relationships. There was a scene like that, and they were saying, what about the children? Like, why are we conditioning children to think that it's okay for men and women to have sex? You understand?
Right.
But the thing is that you are pushing your agenda in almost every single TV shows nowadays in 2023. You understand? Now you're trying to normalize the fact that men should be with men and women should be with women, and it's not even. I mean, I remember back in the days, it was like because I seen it gradually getting worse. At some point it's like like you see like TV shows like South Park and everything. It's like they're mocking the pack of Skittles. Now they're mentioning that a character is he's fruity. Now you see the character being fruity. You understand? He has a boyfriend or she has a girlfriend. Now they're kissing. You understand? And the more we advance in the years, it gets worse because now we have like sodomite scenes in certain movies. I mean, there's what's his name again? The character that plays Wolverine in the X-Men. Apparently, there's a movie of him, being a full-blown sodomite.
Good night.
As soon as I heard that, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even gonna watch that movie. Like, I already heard too much. The fact that he's a full-blown sodomite, and they're fake. I don't care if they're faking or not. Apparently, they're faking having relations, sleeping together in the movie. I'm like, yeah, good night. I mean, it's just getting worse. Like the more we advance, the more the years go by, it's like it's getting worse. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a full-blown sodomite movie. You understand? And they're trying to make straight people like we are the weird ones in the movie.
Right.
You understand? I wouldn't be surprised at all. Right? Even like Officer Malakma said in that TV show Gentified, right? These sisters are beautiful. I mean, why are you doing this to these sisters?
Right.
And like I'm not saying that they're necessarily sodomites, but if they're not, they're conditioning them to be like, it's normal for us to kiss on camera, even though we're two women. You understand? Let's not see it like, we're sodomites. It's all right. You understand? And that, that's the agenda they're pushing on our brothers and sisters.
Right.
To normalize, that abominable lifestyle. You understand? Not only they normalize the lifestyle, but again, they're sexualizing our children. You understand? There's the TV show is called what's it called? It's called Cuties.
Oh, right.
I
Cuties.
was like, good night. I cannot watch that TV show. It's about young young little girls, like probably they're like what, 9 or 11 years old. I seen the trailer. I seen one of them twerking and everything. I was like, good night. What is going on? And I'm guaranteed that these sisters are getting molested because it's Hollywood. Now, we know what happens in Hollywood, but when it comes to child actors, they're always getting taken advantage of. You understand? Emotionally, mentally, and especially physically.
Right.
You understand? And if it could happen, I mean, apparently Terry Crews was sexually assaulted by Harvey Weinstein or whatever his name is. So what makes you think that it will not happen to these young sisters? Like Terry Crews, he's a big nigga. You understand? If a nigga big like this could get sexually assaulted, what makes you think it won't happen to these young sisters, 9 to 11 years old?
John.
You understand? That's why I'm saying the white man is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks of, because he's allowing every single thing like that to happen. You understand? And when we're trying to shed light upon it, he's trying to sweep it under the rug. It's like, no, it never happened. Or he's trying to, instead of focusing on instead of shedding light on Jeffrey Epstein, they're gonna put R. Kelly on the forefront. Now, I'm not going to defend R. Kelly in any type of way. You understand? If the man, molested these girls, he's guilty. I mean, you understand? He needs to get punished. That's for sure. But they're trying to put the focus on R. Kelly instead of Jeffrey Epstein.
Right.
You understand? They're trying to portray our people as being the most evil and despicable people on the face of the earth. While, historically speaking, the Caucasian race has been the worst. And I mean, he's been a natural rapist. It's like it's in his nature to rape, to pillage, to kill, murder, and everything. But then again, when we speak about it, it's like the fingers are always pointed at us. Like, we're the drug dealers. Oh, we have R. Kelly. You understand? We have SPM. You understand? But don't they have Christopher Columbus?
Right.
Don't they have Napoleon? You understand? Don't they have the whole royal family? So, look, I'm gonna just leave it at that for now. I don't want.
God, not only that, but they're famous for being for incest within their own families. That's where all it comes from, because they're also famous for the incest. The Greeks and the Romans, they were famous for the, who is that? Nero, Nero, the king. They were famous for incest with his own sister.
That's crazy.
All these people who rulers, but that's because they do what they want to do. To them there is no laws, there is no no repercussions for them. And you know what? They're absolutely right. If they want to be, what do you call them? Skittles, they can be Skittles. If they want to be incestual, they can be incestual. They can be whatever they want. They have no one to how could I say, to give account to. But Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we do have to give account. We do have to get ready for the repercussions for what we do right now where we're at. So we are being watched. We are on a thin line. Us, it is different. They can do whatever they want. They can murder, they can kill, they can rob, they can rape. That's been given to them to do. That is their pedigree to be like that. Let them be whatever they're gonna be. The problem is where our people begin to follow their culture. And that's why it's important to separate from their cultures. Because when you're part of their culture, you do as they do. And to do as they do, to us, it is a sin. To us, it is a sin to eat pork. To us, it is a sin to eat shrimp and lobster and these things. To us, we cannot do these things. You know what I mean? Because to us, we're falling into the trap of those that have said it. When you look into the book of Maccabees was all about separating from the Greek culture, because he understood how bad it was going to be for Israel to be taking up the holidays and the celebrations and all these things that the Greeks had. Now, they were living amongst these people, and they had to do some of the things they had to do, but there was a limit to what they would do. they would not feast on their days. They would be like, well, we're not going to do those feasts. We can't do those feasts. Go to the altar and do the things they would never do the altars. They separated from them as much as they could. Of course, you live within the kingdom, but you have to separate from the kingdom's holidays, the kingdom's way of life, because that's the way it is. Do you drink? Do you eat those days? Well, yeah, but you're not celebrating those days. You're living as a regular day to you. Do you go and drink? Yeah, okay, well then you go and drink. But do you gonna celebrate? No, you cannot celebrate. Are you gonna get invited to someone's New Year's Eve party? I know we all do. Like, man, I receive plenty of invitations to homes. Hey, come down to my house and celebrate. I turn them down. Christmas, man, they pour in. I turn them down. Thanksgiving, I said once, a lot of the friends of the world that I have, they don't call it Thanksgiving. They even tell me, you know what? It's not Thanksgiving. It's Friendsgiving. And they change the name. Man. They become kind of how could they say? In order to get me to go, they'll actually change the name and call it Friendsgiving. And they'll be like, it's a friendship thing. It's just that we're friends. Well, we can be friends at any time. I'll go to a Friendsgiving. Why not? But not on that particular day. You know what I'm saying? Even in my family, my relatives, my moms and them, we're not celebrating. Just, come down and we'll have a dinner, with your brothers and we'll all get together. Yeah, but on this certain day. And then I'm going to go to the Christmas tree. And then I'm going to go to your house and you're going to have presents. And then you're going to entice my kids by being like, I got a present for you. And so all this, you're trying to trick me into going into something that we refuse to go to. What did we do? I think I don't know what day it was that I was like, we're all at the house. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to barbecue today. I'm going to barbecue and, invite Malakma, invite Ashka War. Something we do on a regular basis. We're always like, let's try to barbecue. Let's eat, let's eat and do a class. There you go. That's the way to go. Let's eat and do a class. I'm going to make dinner and we're going to do a Monday class. I'm going to get something and we're going to eat first and then we're going to do a Wednesday class. Well, hey, that's a better way of putting it. Why does it got to be on that one certain day that you decide we all got to get together? We don't see each other all year, but on this certain day, you want us to be all together. That's wicked as hell because you got family members that you ain't talked to in months. They don't talk to you. They don't call you. They're not always like, oh, hey, what's up, brother? How you doing? How is your school? They never ask, how is your school? Hey, how are your classes? They never ask how are your classes. Oh, man, let me tell you how bad it is. I never see them on any of my classes. I've been doing classes for how long? 6 years. I've been doing classes. And I ain't never seen any of them on any of my classes. But you care, but not enough to get on a class, to comment, to say hello, or to say, hey, man, now I know your point of view. They know nothing about me. You know what I'm saying? They don't participate in any way, form. But on Christmas, they want me to participate on their way of life. And that's just not the way it's going to go,
If I could, Brocky, let me just say this real quick. It's crazy because the same family, right? That talk about they'll try to get you to celebrate Christmas. They'll try to force you to participate and try to trick you into it. Meanwhile, they tell you to not force your culture on them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Salakia. I just wanted to say that.
Go ahead,
if I may. You see that when you say, you have your people talking about, we're not celebrating Thanksgiving, we're celebrating Friendsgiving. The thing is that those people will find any single excuse to be able to sin. You understand? They'll smoke weed talking about, because I grew up as a Rasta, right, in the islands, so they're going to talk about, weed is not a drug, it's, it's the herb. The herb, they say the herb is the healing of the nation. They're gonna say, "Oh well, we found weed on the tomb of King Solomon." They're gonna come out with stupidness like this just to justify, them being drug addicts. When you show them in the Bible, I mean, whatever you smoke is a sin. You understand? I'm just gonna paraphrase, right? You know, when they say, you know, a wicked man, you know, he put you know,
Digging
they
for
say he
people.
digged up evil, you know, and on his lips is as a burning fire. I mean, crack is a plant,
Oh, right,
weed is a plant,
right,
heroin is a plant. Then pills are from plants as well. So they're gonna find any type of excuse to sin. Talking about Friendsgiving. Go tell that to the natives that it was Friendsgiving, you know, the day
right.
that we committed genocide on the native land. You understand? Go tell them it was Friendsgiving. You understand? When they took over the northern part of Mexico. You
Right.
understand? Talking about it's Friendsgiving. You understand? And then I was trying to tell some brothers, right? Because I was chilling with my nigga El Mijo, you know, my Mexican nigga. Yo, he was like, so you don't celebrate Christmas? I'm like, you already know I don't celebrate Christmas. You know what I stand for. He's like, all right, all right. Like, why? So I'm trying to break it down to him. He's like, yeah, yeah, you know. He's like, F Christmas. We shouldn't celebrate it. You're right. You know, but then again, it's like, I'm like, so what are you doing tomorrow? You know, it was about to be New Year's. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna gather with the family and everything. So I'm like, yeah, I get it. He's in the world, but at the end of the day, it's like when you tell me, you know, you're not celebrating, but you're just still gathering on a certain day, you know,
Right,
you're still taking part of his celebration. It's like
right,
from it's like when I was getting into the truth, and I was like, you know what, yeah, F Christmas. But then it's like I'm still going to my grandma's house to eat the food. So in a way, I'm still partaking in the celebration. So
right.
I ended up stopping going to my grandma's house to eat the food. Like I don't give a damn. And what was it like 2 days ago? I had my family calling me, you know, Happy New Year, sending me like gifts and videos, Happy New Year. Some family, well, when I call them, they don't pick up the phone, you know. But when for stupidness like this, oh, Happy New Year, Happy Birthday, I'm like, yo, the hell with your New Year's and birthday. If I'm calling to check up on you, you can't answer me. But when it comes to celebrate some stupid pagan festival, like you're the first one to get on the phone and send me a message. I'm like, yo, the hell with your Happy New Year. You
Right.
understand? Some people they see me on the street, Happy New Year. I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. That's it. Like, I don't give a damn, you know. And if you want me to break it down to you, you're celebrating a pagan holiday, talking about, we're not slaves anymore, we're free. You're not free because you're celebrating, you know, you're being told to celebrate on a certain day, and you're going ahead and listening to your master, talking about you're free, talking about you're woke. You understand? They're gonna find, any excuses. Because I was talking to a brethren of mine, talking about, like, I don't celebrate Christmas and New Year's. Like, yeah, I know, but I celebrate drinking. I was like, good night. What is wrong with our people talking about I celebrate drinking? So you're gonna celebrate drinking specifically on the 25th of December and the 1st of January? Like, I could drink anytime. Why would I have to drink specifically on these days?
Right.
You understand? Just like Officer Kazaki was saying, like I could call you anytime. Why would we have to gather on a specific date? Why can't we just barbecue any day of the year? You understand? Why can't we do that? Why can't we gather? What about next week? Or why can't we gather when I'm telling you, hey, you know what? Next feast we have Purim. Let's gather for Purim. You don't want to do that. You understand? Let's gather for the Passover. You don't want to come to the Passover, but you expect me to come to Christmas when the Passover is actually our culture and Christmas is the culture of the oppressor. You understand? Just like Officer Malakman was saying, it's like you're trying to force your belief on me, but and you're trying to tell me not to force my belief on you, even though I'm not
Right.
forcing it. I'm just trying to share information and trying to bring you back home, but you're trying to force your belief on me, and they want to talk about, I'm a hater, or I don't love my family. Like, I have my sister talking about, you should show up to Christmas, or you should show up to your nephew's birthday. Like, the hell with the birthday. My nephew's never gonna see me on his birthday.
Don, and let me interrupt real quick. You know what it boils down to is the act of resistance. Now,
Okay.
if you can't resist, right? If it's part of something that's been implemented into you, where you can no longer resist, then you will easily fall into anything else that they implement at or for you, at you or for you. They're going to implement something and you'll fall, and so will your generations fall, because you didn't learn how to resist. And since you don't know how to do that, then your children don't know how to do that, and your generations fail to do that. And that's where we all went wrong, where your parents, your mom, your dad, your grandparents, they didn't know how to resist the celebrating of the Guadalupe. They didn't know how to resist the not going to the Catholic Church. They didn't know how to resist not being a Christian. They didn't know how to resist not allowing, the taking, going back further, the taking of not only your culture, your land, your people, your language. There was no resistance enough. And since there was no resistance, we are here today implanted with their traditions, their way of life. And why? Because at some point, we did no longer resist. We went with whatever flow they gave us, and we kept it, and we continue it. And now it's become a regular thing for us. It's become our own nature, our own common nature to do what they've done. And so now we say this, we say now it's time to resist. Now it's time to once again learn the resistance. And this is the resistance where, okay, man, it's just a holiday. Come on, man, it's just New Year's. What harm does it do you to celebrate, to wish somebody Happy New Year, to do the Christmas, to do this? What is it, what does it do to you? Well, it's not doing nothing to me. What it's doing, it's breaking down my resistance. That's what it is doing. It's showing me how to accept it. It's showing me how to not care about it. And not caring is the part that is important. You have to care. You have to give, some kind of attention to the subtle attack that's being placed into your psychic or into you or into your culture. And by beginning to understand that, and you begin to resist, then your talk becomes that. You begin to say things like that. Well, you know what? Hey, man, you know what? Let's get a drink. Well, let's get a drink. Hey, man, let's go out. Well, let's go out. Hey, let's go celebrate. Well, that I can't do. Hey, man, let's go get some mariscos. Let's go get some mariscos. Hey, let's go get some siete mares. Let's go get the siete mares. Let's get some camarones. Oh, I can't do that. You know what I mean? Hey, let's go get some tacos. Okay, let's go get some tacos. Let's go get some lengua tacos. Let's go get some lengua tacos. Let's go get some pork tacos. I can't do that. Pastor. Let's get some pastor. I can't do that. There's the resistance. There's where you have to be. You're involved in everything, but you can resist what is not of yours, because it's all mixed up into a daily life, into the daily everything. But where do we resist? Here is the other resistance. Oh, this doll that we saw. Hey, it's normal. No, it's not normal. It's not. It's not. And I gotta say it, because my generation's got to hear that I'm resisting. I'm not gonna accept it. And since I'm not accepting it, then you shouldn't accept it. Because who do our kids look up to? Well, they're gonna look up to us. Who do they really look up to? They really look up to people who, man, this is a common nature in Black, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, is that we tend to follow people that are resistant, that are not the norm. Like, why did you want to be a cholo? Because they were the outcast. They were the rebels of the bunch. And I want to be a rebel. Why did you want to be a Rastafarian? Because they were the rebels of the regular people. You know what I'm saying? Why did you want to be? Because they were the rebels. They were the ones that were set apart from everybody. Why did everybody want to be a brown beret? Because they were set apart from everybody else. Why do you want to be like us? Because we set ourselves apart from everybody else. Even from those that you thought were rebels, were not even close to what we are here today. Now, we the really rebellious ones, because we're going up against a nation, a culture, and a way of life. We're going on beyond that. We're taking everything that all these people said they were, and we are. They said they were, but we are. We are resistant. We are rebels. We are the outcasts. We are not the norm that you expect. Yeah, man, I talk about, at my work, they talk about, the Guadalupe Day, screw Guadalupe. Who is that? And they get offended. Oh, my God. Oh, man, I'll tell you a story. During, how they celebrate the Guadalupe, right? So one of my coworkers, he's like, hey, Jess, because he knows that I'm not with that. But in his joking manner, you're dealing with Mexicans here. They're like, hey, Jess, you ain't, using my my slave name. Hey, you ain't gonna celebrate the Guadalupe? And I said, man, in Spanish, F Guadalupe, And then some other coworker goes, hey, my wife's name is Guadalupe. I was like,
Hey, man.
you said that. You know exactly who I'm talking about, but you said that. And then, but he's from El Salvador. And then Guatemala. And then he was like, oh, no, I understand what you're saying. I understand. So I dropped some knowledge. And when I began to drop the knowledge on him, he did not come against it. He was like, no, you're absolutely right. I said, you know what, you're right. I know what you're talking about. He says, I'm familiar with all that. So you're familiar with all that. Hispanic people, we're familiar with all. Any Hispanic you talk to is familiar with the story that we tell you about the conquest of Mexico. Everybody's familiar with the Catholic Church's way of destroying our people. But their whole thing is we should respect everybody's religion and everybody's culture and everybody's way. Well, now you're talking respect, right? But they don't respect us. They had never have. They've never had respect for our way of life or our culture. So in turn, why should we have respect for any of that? You know what I'm saying? And it boils down to that family member that they want you to be there on Christmas, on Thanksgiving. They want you to be there for their celebrations, but they are never, ever, even for a moment, watching a show that you've done,
right,
or listen to what you say, or even stop for a moment to hear what you got to say.
Right.
And they know you right, but they ain't never gonna lend you an ear or lend you a moment for your side of the table. So, Lucky, go ahead.
No, that's heavy. I don't want is like, it's so hard for them to give up Christmas. It's so hard for them to give up New Year's. You know what I mean? Birthdays, Thanksgiving, every single oppressor holiday that exists, they cannot give it up. You know what I mean? Like, they act like it's, like how do I say it? Like, they fight to the very core to find a way to celebrate that day. You know what I mean? And it's crazy that you touched on something, Adawan, where you said, like, when it comes to resistance, reality dawns. You know what I mean? That's why, like, brothers will say slaves celebrate these holidays, because that's what we are in this place. We're slaves. You know what I mean? And we're so destroyed and beaten down that the oppressor knows that. This is why we say the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, because he gives you these holidays so that you can party like him for one time out of the year, out of the month, whatever you want to call it, for a little short time period of time. You get a taste of how they live, because the way these holidays are, the celebrations they have, this is how these Edomites live every day, man. They have their big parties, their gatherings, they get drunk, they have their orgies, they have, you know what I mean? They do all types of things night to night. You got TV shows like the Jersey Shore that capture it, you know what I mean? And they give you this holiday so that you can partake in their culture one day, but not because they're trying to be, how do I say it? Not because they want to bring you in on the fun. No. I think the general touched in on this. They're doing that to throw it in your face. You know what I mean? They're doing that so that you can see that you can never live like this. You know what I mean? You have to live like a slave. You have to be poor. You have to be, quiet and never resist. You know what I mean? And that you will never be great like us. That's what they're doing mentally. It's all a psychological warfare. That's what, you know what I mean? That's what these holidays represent, man. And it shows the programming and indoctrination that's been put on us. You know what I mean? That's why it's so hard for Raza to give up these holidays, man. That fighting spirit in the Raza, that fighting spirit in so-called black people, that fighting spirit in Native Americans has generationally been removed. You know what I mean? That's why they celebrate, these holidays. And now it's starting to make sense why they fight us. You know what I mean? because that last little spark of fight in them, this oppressor has indoctrinated them to turn on their own. You know what I mean? Because they feared the oppressor. They feared the oppressor and respect them to where they want to live like him and love him. And in order to gain that love and respect from Esau, they'll turn on their own. You know what I mean? That's what this all represents, man. You know what I mean? And now it's starting to make sense. As you know, as the more you as the time goes by, as you tune in and you listen to the men above you teach, like it's starting to become more clear as to why things are the way they are. But Salak, yeah, I'll give the floor back.
So, if I may,
Go
the
ahead.
reason why it's hard for our people to give up these traditions because of Christianity. And
Right.
Christianity is a hell of a drug. It's worse than crack cocaine. You understand? A crackhead knows he has a problem. A Christian doesn't know what he's doing is wrong. You understand? Like celebrating birthdays, any type of pagan celebration that's out there, right? It gives them a high.
Salakia Barak, I don't mean to interrupt you, priest. I just wanted to say this to you, man. Like it's crazy that you just touched in on the Christianity. Christianity is it, like that's the tool of the oppressor. You know what I mean? That's that indoctrination right there. You know what I mean? That's why they now think about it. Why are they putting those? Why is the Christian church celebrating these pagan holidays? You know what I mean? Right. Salakia, priest. I just had to,
No sweat one. Exactly, because like I was saying, they get high. It's like when they gather, you understand, they gather, they eat the food, they open the gift into the Christmas tree, they get a feeling, it's like getting high for them. It's like the first time you smoke your first joint. You understand? It's like they every year they have to do that same thing to feel that sense of euphoria. For them it's like a chemical reaction in their spirit. You understand? Because just like Christianity is a drug, drugs, produces chemical reactions in your body. Well, Christianity produced like some type of reaction in their spirit. You understand? It's like, oh, it's my birthday. Damn, people are gonna, gather around me, bring me like gifts and everything, almost like they worship me. You understand? Same thing with Christmas, New Year's. You understand? It's like, good night. Tonight, you understand? I have an excuse tonight to get drunk, to get high, to go sleep with a whore. Sisters have an excuse, to be whores. You understand? It's like sinning makes them feel happy. It makes it. Like I said, it's a high that they get. You understand? And just like all drug addicts, they need rehab. And the only place for rehab when you're addicted to Christianity is coming to the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yohana. You understand? If you follow the example and the orders of Officer 5000 Kazakyad, you're gonna get cured from your addiction. If you follow the orders and example of Officer 500 Malakma, you're gonna get cured from your addiction. You understand? If you wanna keep going to church to see your dealer, you're never gonna get cured from your addiction. Christians are worse than crackheads. Crackheads know they're not supposed to smoke crack. They're struggling. Of course they're struggling. Crack is a hard drug, but Christianity is the worst drug that there is on the face of the earth. You understand? Christianity and the other similar substances, such as Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, whatever there is out there, any so-called religion is just another form of Christianity. Just like, you understand, crack, weed, cigarettes, it's all a drug that you could smoke and that is really addictive.
Right, priest.
You understand? Christianity and the other religions are the exact same thing, but just worse.
Right.
Salakia.
If I could, real quick, just Salakia, I don't want to because I wanted to say this real quick. It would not be a shocker, you know what I mean, if you come to find out, right, that the people who started Christianity, the people who started all these religions, right, know that the religions are BS. You know what I mean? they ask yourself why they had, why they had to come up with Christianity. They took aspects of other religions and brought it into one. You know what I mean? Because the oppressors, man, all these other nations know who we are as a people, man. Know who we are, and what they know is that they need to indict these people to keep us on top and them on the bottom. That's why everything that these nations do is contrary to the mind. They don't want to do with God. They know they're not the Lord's chosen people, so they want to do everything contrary to what the Lord says, because for them, it'd be like like the child that hates his dad. He don't want nothing to do. He don't want nothing to do with his dad. He'll do the opposite of what his dad tells him. You know what I mean? So we we need to understand who these other nations are, know their agendas against us, and separate, man. And that's our problem. We want to be like them. We want to be the son that hates his dad. A dad that loves us. That's what's happened to us, man. And this picture right here speaks 1,000 words, because you see the exact indoctrination. This is your MK Ultra right here on the screen. You know what I mean? Everybody talk about thinking that they go manipulate you through the TV and everything, and that's true. They do a good job at that, But they thought everyone thinks it's some conspiracy theory with aliens, nah, man, or some what is it, psychological psychopathic powers or whatever that psychic powers.
Right.
The MK Ultras right there, man. That cross, that mind control. God, thank you, IR. That mind control is in that Christian church right there. That cross with that Christmas tree. That's what's making you go to the mall. That's what's making you go rob somebody. That's what's making you, cut your ties with the Most High. You know what I mean? Is that Christian church? What's the like, y'all one?
No, absolutely. Let me tell you, the Christian church is what keeps the ignorance, what fuels the ignorance in our people. That's that section of our government that's necessary to keep people ignorant. Like, people don't understand how important church is to the American way, because without that, people would actually, they'd realize something, and the church is what's keeping you from realizing that something. The reason why we woke up in the ISUPK because we stepped away from the church, and that has allowed us to really see things for what they really are. We're no longer blinded by the lies that the church continues to fuel. The church fuels Christmas. The church fuels, what is that? Easter, the bunny, the eggs. The church fuels the Valentines. The church fuels Thanksgiving. The church fuels these things. They're the ones that are keeping that going. They're the ones that keep it alive. The church now fuels the LGBT. They're fueling the LGBT. They're the ones. They're the entity within this society that allows everything to flourish within our own selves, with each individual person. Why? Because if the church says it's okay, then it has to be okay. And the church is run by the government, and the government tells, it's kind of like school. The reality, the school they're told what they can teach. The curriculum that the school system has is implemented by the government. You cannot speak out of the curriculum. That's why there's not a lot of, like, what you hear in the UPK, you don't hear in the schools, because it's not allowed to be taught in the schools. Because if you were really taught American history, America would not see the things they see, the way they see things today. We would hear about the Native American Indian massacres and the boarding schools and the Mexican Repatriation Act and the destruction of our people. You would hear that in schools, but they don't teach that in schools. They used to teach it, and they took those classes out of high school, of junior high school. You no longer see that, because they don't want everything taught that may second think what this nation is about. And that church is the demon that keeps everybody in the line of how they want you to be. You got to really think about that. You got to really see what that is. Here, we step out of that line because we now see clearly, because we don't go to a church that tells you that.
Oh, we lost Officer Kazakiad again.
You drop again? Salakia. Yeah, look like we having technical difficulties.
It's Salakia one. I just want to say this real quick, though.
Go ahead, Ak.
Right, just like Officer Kazakiad was bringing, you don't hear about, the history of Native Americans, you understand, or the history of Mexicans in the school. Like I mentioned last week, right? I seen on TV this woman, this Edomite woman, talking about, she's a teacher, right? And what she teaches is Native American history. So in my head, it's like, what history are you teaching? Like, are you teaching your students that your people committed genocide on the Native American Indians and then put them on reservation, like concentration camps? Is it that? Like, what are you teaching to your students? Are you teaching them, like, we slaughtered the Native Indians and then we celebrated Thanksgiving? Are you teaching them that, Thanksgiving was because we gave thanks to the help of the Native Indians provided us? You understand? Are you telling the truth, or are you just being a hypocrite? And honestly, like, we all know what she's doing, right? But I'm just saying, like, what motivated you to be a teacher and teach Native American history as an oppressor? You understand? Salakia, one. I'll give the floor back to Officer Kazakiad.
The water, and Salakia, and you know what they will do is that there's got to be some kind of bad, because for a nation to look good, there has to be a bad. There has to be, because how else are you going to compare one to another? To do a comparison puts you in a good spot because you're making someone else look like a criminal. So it makes you look good. You'll become a hero by making someone else look like the criminal. You know what I mean? So, well, what do? You see, they slander Germany. They slander Hitler. Now, I don't give a damn about them, but they continually, in movies, in shows, in everything, like the biggest villain on the face of the earth was Hitler and the Nazis. That's like the biggest villain, like anything that has to do with being wicked. If you see Star Wars, the Black Empire, that's
right.
That's like a almost like a Hitler type, a character, But in reality, like, I don't care about these people, but in reality, if you look at America, they were the biggest villains or the biggest maniacs, the biggest thieves and robbers and everything that can fall into the category of the most wickedest that you can find. It's America. It's the Caucasian. They're the wickedest. They're the ones who did this, but yet they need to compare themselves to make them look good. America's such a great country. It's so humane. So it's such a humanitarian country, but yet it's the one who has done the worst. Way before Hitler did what he did, America did that to the Black, the Hispanic, and the Native American Indians. Salakia, go ahead.
So Salakia, I don't want to. They want to cut you off. I just want to say that, just like you say, they want to demonize Hitler. Not that we give a damn, because he's a devil anyways. He wasn't a good person, But the thing is that they're always trying to demonize Hitler like he was the worst human being on the face of the earth, when Hitler took his example on America. And he observed America. He observed how the native were treated, how the Latinos were treated, how the blacks were treated, and he's like, I'm gonna try to do the same. That's basically what Hitler did. You understand? Hitler, in other words, is just like a son of America. Literally. You understand? America is the spiritual father of Hitler. That's it. Hitler modeled even the concentration camps. You understand? He modeled that after America. You understand? So it's like if you want to let's hold Hitler accountable. I mean, I agree, but if we do that, we need to hold America accountable as well.
Right.
Because America was the blueprint for Hitler. Slovakia.
If I could, Barack Yala and Salaki, I just want to say this: they paint Adolf Hitler as the worst human being in the world, right? As treating him like he's, and for everybody who's seen Harry Potter, like Lord Voldemort, he who shall not be named. What in the hell is this guy right here compared to him?
Good.
You know what I mean? Shit, Hitler's the worst human being in the world. Have you heard about Christopher Columbus and what he did to my people? You know what I mean? But you want me to forget about that and let that go because that was in the past. America's the greatest country in the world. Don't you dare talk about the evils that America has done. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Priest.
If I may, I don't want to cut you off, but correct me if I'm wrong, though, right? Because I read that, when Christopher Columbus and them, he brought his crew and he came, in the Caribbean and in North, Central, and South America, right? The raping was so bad that the Spanish crown, complained about it.
Damn.
You understand? It's like, hey, I mean, the atrocities they were committing as devils, like, they know they're devils. They're going to commit atrocities. But for them, it's like, it was so bad. It was like, they couldn't believe it themselves.
Damn. Barack Yala, let me say this, Priest. Can you imagine the rapist is telling you to stop raping? He's telling you, you're doing too much. You're bad. Good night.
The rapist is telling you you're raping too much.
Right.
The most violent man on the face of the earth is telling you you're being too violent.
Good. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So that is crazy, because it's like that's what I mean. So you gonna point the finger, and that's all it is. This is why, you know what I mean. This is why we say, like I said, we gonna say it all night, and in every language you can think of. Why we say the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, because in the same breath that they tell you Adolf Hitler is the worst human being in the world, they'll celebrate Christopher Columbus. You know what I mean?
Right. And and let me tell you, one of the problems that happens with our people is that we're trying to be like these people. We're trying to imitate them. We're the gangsters now, and they were the original gangsters.
Right.
We're the wicked, and they were the original wicked. And now we're trying to be like them because even us, we live amongst this nation, and a lot of us want to be rich and famous the way they are. That's why a lot of them, brothers want to be movie stars and shit. They want to be part of this. But if you go into like what we teach, you go into the biblical terms. You can open the Bible. If we're people of the Bible, the Mexicans, the Black Native Americans, we believe in the Lord. We believe in the real God, right?
Right.
If one of you brothers got Proverbs 23:1, just real quick. If you got Proverbs 23:1, I want to just go into something real quick, going into the biblical side of things. Giving honor to the Most High, the Lord Himself. Yahweh Shai Mashiach, and the way that we're supposed to be as a people, they guide us in a manner that we should be aware of, and this is on a daily for all of us, because we'll fall into this trap that they've set for us. You got that Proverbs 23:1?
Karawakan.
Go ahead and read it.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 1. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee.
I'll tell you what, go to is that Proverbs 23:1?
Karawakan.
I got it right there on the screen too. I don't want.
Okay, let me see. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be like them. I'm sorry, I might have. I'm trying to bring it out of the top of my head, but maybe I'm on the wrong one. What is that? Oh, envy not the oppressor. That's what I was looking for.
Oh, so I think that's Proverbs chapter 30, And
I'm coming off the top of my head. I was trying to think of a good precept to bring with that. You know what I mean?
give me 1 second. I think I got it right here.
I'm actually gonna get it myself too. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Oh, so I'll get it right now too. You know what I mean? Give me a sec, because that's like
So
if I
I
could, you got it, Salakia.
It's Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31.
What is it?
31. Okay.
Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Right. That's the one.
Oh God, this is Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31.
Kind. I got it right there in the screen. Arwamium wa Akim. I'm gonna say this, man. While before, because I got like for meantime, this is how you know the Bible is not the white man's book. You know what I mean? When you clowns want to come and tell me that what I'm following is against my people. This book is about decolonizing. You know what I mean? And this scripture right here is proof of that decolonization. True decolonization is in the Bible. Go ahead, Adawan.
And Salaki, it's actually, I said 23, but it's not. It's 24 and 1. Yeah, but I said 23 and 1, but it's actually 24 and 1, the one I was looking for.
If I could, Adawan, could I expound on the scripture real quick?
Go ahead. Absolutely.
So Proverbs 3 and 31 says, envy thou not the oppressor. We all know who the oppressor is today in America, man. We all know that the oppressor is the same person as the colonizer. What is decolonization, right? Everyone's talking about decolonize. And what's a lot of y'all is main point when y'all say that is to give up the ways of the oppressor, right? Give up the ways of the colonizer. Now look at the next part in the verse. And choose none of his ways. So you want to talk about like I can say this all day. The Bible is about decolonization. Christ was about decolonizing, his people. You know what I mean? So for all you Rasa that wants to think the Bible's not indigenous, it's indigenous. Where you think your spirit of decolonization comes from? Where you think your ancestors had that idea from? You know what I mean? It came from the. Chances are, keeping up, you're gonna find out it came from the Bible. You know what I mean?
And so let me go into this real quick. What we were talking about earlier about how we have to teach our children, because this nation is implementing their way of life into ours. So we're like us as the parents in the ISUPK, as the elders and how can I say, the priests in the ISUPK, that's a better word to use. The priests in the ISUPK, we're the ones that have to give counsel to our kids. We're the ones that have to give counsel to our people. We are the counselors. We're the ones that have to show strength in this place where weakness, right? Like I said before, as we no longer resist, well, that's a weakness. We have to remain strong here. Resistance is a show of strength. And we cannot be envious of the things, they celebrate their Christmas, their Thanksgiving, their things. Can be envious of their celebrations and try to be part of it. We have to understand that we got to separate from that, because that's destructive when it comes to, our people. The things they do, it's an abomination what they do, and we have to learn to bring our children, our people into safety. In our council, there is safety, the way we teach, the way General Mahaiman, Commanding General Yohana, the officers, the generals, the way they teach, well, there's a safety right there for our people, for our generations, for all our, Black, Hispanic, and American Indians. So we're the ones who have to, stay here and maintain this place so that we might be able to give counsel to ours. So let's go into 24 and 1, right? And, we're talking about not being, not celebrating these things and not be envious that they're celebrating and we're not, but learn to resist and stay away from it. So now go ahead and read that chapter 1, Proverbs 24 and 1.
Karawakan, Proverbs chapter 24, verse 1. Be not thou envious against evil men, neither desire to be with them.
And that verse, you know, tells you a lot. We shouldn't desire to be with them. They are evil, man. You know what? If they're not listening to your class, if they're not paying attention to you, if they have no interest in the Bible or in the Lord or anything that has to do with what's gonna, you know, strengthen our people, then those are evil men, and we should have nothing to do with them. Go ahead to verse 2.
Verse 2. For their heart studieth destruction, and their lips talk of mischief.
You see, and so their hearts, man, it's only destruction. You can tell, man, these things that we're watching, these dolls that they have, these with these man, there is a mischief, man. There is destruction right there, man. The mischief is something that, you know, is not for us. Mischief is something people are doing that is not correct. Go on to the next verse, or you can drop down to 5. Let's go into 5.
Proverbs chapter 24, verse 5. A wise man is strong, yea, a man of knowledge increaseth strength.
And there is the strength. We got to be wise men. We got to stay in this truth. We got to teach our children, teach our generations, be wise. That is a sign of strength. You know, resistance is a sign of strength. Here is our strength. When you hear me resist and you hear what I got to say, you know how strong it comes out of me. And you know that what we're speaking is truth, man. And with that, we increase the strength in our generations. That knowledge continues to pass on from one to another and strengthen our people, because in the past we have been weakened. Your grandfather's grandfather didn't resist no longer. So we became weak in all our generations. That's how we ended up falling into Christianity and the Catholic Church and Christmas and all this, because we showed weakness. We allowed them to take us into their way of life. And that was the weakness. And that's why we're here today. Now go on to 6.
Karawakan. Verse 6. For by wise counsel thou shalt make thy war, and in multitude of counselors there is safety.
So there it is. So this is where we got to be, man. We got to have that counsel. You know what counsel is? It's just talking to your kids, man. It's just talking to your people. This is counsel. When you need something, talk to me about it. Let's get together. There's different types of counsel. That counsel is a counsel that we all need to have daily with our children, with our loved ones, with our kids, with our nephews, with our grandchildren. We have to have that counsel because they're at school every day. And in school, they're being taught the wicked shit. That's for real. They're being taught how to be wicked, man. They're between their kids and the teachers and the education system that we know today. Here is the wickedness that's being brought on. And how are we going to make war? We make war because we're teaching our children to resist. That's war. That's an act of war. When you resist against what America wants to talk about, it's always been like that. I'll prove it to you. Why were the Zoot Suiters such a threat to America? Because we resisted their way of life. We didn't want nothing to do with what they had to do. We wanted to separate, the Chicanos wanted to separate from the Caucasian. Why? Because they were mistreating us, and we just didn't want nothing to do with them. So we resisted. What did we become? We started a war against them. And there is the war where they would pull us out of the movie theaters, rip our clothes off, beat us, you know, do these things to us. There is war already, and we didn't even initiate that war. The only reason we started a war is because we spoke in a manner that they didn't agree. Today, the UPK, we're starting a war here. Why? Because we want to follow the Lord's way, and they don't want us to. And so this is the war that we're bringing on, us against them, because we want truth, and they want to continue in these lies. And it is the multitude, as it says there, because it's all of us. It's all of us coming together to bring, you know, this truth forward. And this is the problem. This is where they do not like us. This is how they do not want us to be. But in the contrary, we'll resist and continue this war. Go to 7.
Karawakan, verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate.
And that is them, man. Us being so wise, right? Our wisdom is far beyond these people, man. They cannot understand. That's why, and I'll give you a good example. That's why your mom don't watch this show. That's why your brothers don't watch this show. That's why your family don't watch this show, because this wisdom is way too far for them. They cannot understand this. This is far from their understanding. Hey, I understand. It's all good. But you know what? I'm in this truth. And my son is in this truth, and my family. And through us, may the Lord have mercy on the rest of my family, because they'll never come into this truth. But I'm here, and I'll continue to be here. And I'll pray that my family has mercy, that the Lord show mercy. What can I get in return for doing this work? Man, just mercy for my family. That's it. That's all I ask for. Let's go to verse 9.
Karawakan. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 9. The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to man.
And that's who the white man is, man. He's an abomination to everybody. And he's a fool, because he's taught us all to go astray from what the Lord has put for us. And what we're here to do is to bring everyone back. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm gonna say it, man. This show, man, I could have called it Resistance, and it would have been a great show, because that's what it is. We're here to resist the way that the Caucasian has taught us to go, and that is astray, and we refuse to go astray. What we got to do is we got to stand up and make a resistance, man. And this is it. This is the point of resistance right here. The way you talk, the things you do, the way you handle yourself, that's a show of resistance. Because you don't eat pork, that's a show of resistance. Because you don't go to church, that's a show of resistance. Because you're not at that dinner table, man, that's an act of resistance. Because your kids are now doing the same as you, man, that's even further down the line. You resisted, but even more, now your kids are resisting. Your family doesn't know what to think. You know what I'm going to tell you how on my side is like, okay, if you don't want to do it, but why the kids? That's what they'll tell you. Well, why, what do the kids have to do with this? Why don't you allow them to make their own decisions? Why don't you allow them to come to the dinner? Why don't you allow them to make their choice? Well, they are going to make a choice. They're going to make the choice that I'm going to teach them, the resistance, and then they're going to hear your side. And they themselves, what is that precept? Teach your children in the right way, and they won't fall astray. What is that?
Train up a child in the way they should go.
Right, exactly. And that's what we're doing. We're teaching our children in the way that we should go. And you know what? They begin to show the same resistance that I'm showing. And so that means that whatever it is that I'm doing must be correct, because my children are now correct. My grandchildren are correct. Now they're seeing a difference in the way things should be. You know what I'm saying? And that's important. That's why we're here. Salakia, go ahead. Go ahead. Take the floor.
Salakia, Marwan. Para la raza, tengo las escrituras en español también.
Ándale.
Proverbios, capítulo 24, versículo 1. No tengas envidia de los hombres malos, ni desees estar con ellos.
Y aquí lo que estamos hablando es muy fácil. Nosotros no deberíamos de darle envidia a esta gente que todavía celebran los días festivos de una nación que robó, destruyó y violó a tu gente, y todavía tú quieres seguir los pasos que llevan ellos. Eso es tener envidia de esta misma gente que nunca ha tomado tu gente en cuenta, que no han hecho nada para que tu gente pueda salir adelante, y todavía hasta este punto en la historia consideran a tu gente menos que cualquier otra nación. Ayudan a los chinos, ayudan a los armenios, ayudan a todas las naciones, pero nunca van a ayudar a los latinos, a los morenos, a los indios nativos. Seguimos siendo las mismas gentes en los ojos de ellos que siempre hemos sido, y eso es menos que los demás. ¿Cómo es que vamos a celebrar sus días? o tener envidia de ellos. Dicen, el sueño americano, ¿cómo quieres ser americano si ellos son los mismos que te han puesto en la condición? Tu nación está en la condición que está por esta misma gente y tú quieres venir a ser igual que ellos. Salakia, go ahead.
Carabacan, Proverbios, capítulo 24, versículo 2. Porque su corazón piensa en robar, e iniquidad hablan sus labios.
Porque su corazón es nomás robar. Eso es lo que nos hacen a nosotros. A nosotros nomás nos roban. Son unos iniquios, significando que esta no es gente buena. Esta es gente, una gente, ¿cómo te diré? Perdida. Son inicuos. Hacen todo lo contrario de lo bueno. Eso es lo que es esta gente. Coge.
Carabacan, versículo 3. Con sabiduría se edificará la casa y con prudencia se afirmará.
Entonces, con sabiduría, nosotros vamos a edificar nuestras casas. Eso es muy importante porque nosotros, los que estamos aquí ahora, somos los que tenemos que tomar la decisión de instruir a nuestras familias en el camino correcto. Nosotros somos los que tenemos que pasar sabiduría. Esto de celebrar el año, el día de Navidad, el día de dar gracias, que es el día del pavo, estos días festivos de una nación que te odia. Nosotros tenemos que instruir a nuestros hijos a que se retiren de estas festividades y que lleven los días feriados como debe de ser bíblicamente y no como la nación ha puesto, porque esta nación no tiene el interés ni de ti, ni de tu familia, ni de tus hijos, y es muy fácil verlo cuando miras lo que está pasando la gente latina en esta nación, lo que están pasando los morenos en esta nación, lo que están pasando los indios nativos en esta nación. Go ahead.
Calvacán, versículo 4. Y con ciencia se henchirán las cámaras de todo bien preciado y agradable.
Entonces nosotros deberíamos de saber que estas cosas que ellos están poniendo no tienen nada que ver con lo de nosotros. No hay nada agradable en lo que hacen ellos. Nosotros tenemos que ver que nomás nosotros vamos a poder guiar a nuestra gente en el camino correcto. Go ahead.
Calvacán, versículo 5. El hombre sabio es fuerte y de pujante vigor el hombre docto.
Y mira, nosotros siendo sabios somos fuertes. Cuando nosotros instruimos a nuestros hijos en el camino correcto, eso enseña la fuerza que tenemos nosotros. El estar débil, el ser débil, es lo que nos ha hecho esta nación. Todas nuestras generaciones anteriormente se han hecho débiles. ¿Por qué? Porque la nación nos ha instruido en un camino incorrecto. Tu iglesia católica y tu iglesia cristiana han participado en lo que es el acabar lo que es la fuerza de nosotros mismos. Ahora mira, nuestros hombres no somos ni para levantarnos en contra de lo que le están haciendo a nuestros hijos, a nuestras mujeres en estos lugares que se llaman las áreas de detención. ¿Cuántos de nuestros familiares no fueron violadas allí en esas áreas de detención? ¿Cuántos niños no fueron quitados de las familias y se fueron separados y perdidos entre todo el montón que han hecho? ¿Y dónde estaban los hombres? Hemos perdido la fuerza. ¿Por causa de qué? Por causa de una nación que nos ha instruido en un camino equivocado. Cogen.
Carabacán, Proverbios, capítulo 24, versículo 6. Porque con ingenio harás la guerra y la salud está en la multitud de consejeros. ¿Será que consejeros?
Entonces nosotros somos los consejeros y nosotros la guerra que dice que está en la multitud es porque nosotros tenemos que instruir a nuestros hijos y a nuestra gente correctamente. Esta es la guerra de la que habla, porque cuando nosotros hablamos la verdad, estamos en contra de una nación que nos odia, ¿verdad? Cuando tú empiezas a hablar las cosas correctamente, tú eres el enemigo. A ti te viene la guerra. Si tú les dices, hay que no celebrar estos días festivos que no son de nosotros, de pronto tu propia familia se viene en contra de ti. ¿Por qué? Porque tú quieres llevar lo correcto. En la Navidad no está en la Biblia. el año nuevo no está en la Biblia, ¿verdad? El día del dar gracias no es bíblico. Ni uno de los días festivos que tiene esta nación, ninguno está en la Biblia. No existen. Tú estás celebrando días paganos que esta nación misma ha impuesto a tu gente, y tú vienes a este país, quieres ser parte de esto, y tú caes en la trampa que tienen ellos, que es un círculo de perdición, generación tras generación tras generación, y no hemos podido salir de esto. Pero aquí está tu fuerza, aquí está cuando tú te haces más fuerte que ellos, y es hablando la verdad, y la verdad se encuentra en la Biblia. Go ahead.
Carabocán, versículo 7. Alta está para el insensato al sabiduría. En la puerta no abrirá él su boca.
Esta gente habla puras mentiras. Aquí no hay nada de sabiduría en esta nación. Esta gente habla nomás por tener, ¿cómo le dicen? Por tener hocico. Por eso hablan. Pero las cosas que ellos practican, las cosas que ellos tienen, no tienen nada que ver con nuestra Biblia, con Dios o con Cristo mismo. Go ahead, last one.
Cahuacán, versículo 8. Al que piensa mal hacer, le llamarán hombre de malos pensamientos.
El que piensa hacer el mal será llamado perverso. Así que ya sabemos cómo está eso. Esas palabras se dedican solas, ¿verdad? Eso solo se explica. Y nuestra gente es la que está cayendo en esto. Nosotros tenemos que retirarnos de esta nación, porque esta nación, y cuando hablamos nosotros de retirarte de esta nación, no estamos hablando que agarres tus bolsas, tus maletas y te rejuntes y te vayas. De eso no se trata. Se trata de que tú mismo empiezas a separarte de las cosas que no son de Dios. Mira, te voy a explicar una cosa. Si tú eres latino, nativo, indio nativo o moreno en este país, tú tienes el derecho de vivir tu vida como debe de ser. Y nosotros la vamos a vivir tal y como nos dice la Biblia. Y como dice la Biblia, es nosotros separarnos de las cosas que no son de nosotros. Esas son cosas ajenas de otro país, de otra nación. Nosotros no debemos de pasar esas celebraciones. No debemos de celebrar el día festivo de Navidad, o celebrar el día de el dar gracias, o el día que es el 4 de julio, o estos días no son para nosotros. Nosotros deberíamos de entender que para nosotros los días festivos están en la Biblia, y si tú crees en un Dios, el mismo Dios que dio vida a Cristo, el mismo Cristo que crucificaron en la cruz, el Cristo ese que dicen que María dio luz a él, ¿verdad? Este mismo Cristo es el mismo que creo yo, el mismo, el apóstol Pablo y Juan y Mateo, y los mismos que ellos siguieron, este mismo es el mismo del que estoy hablando yo. Y él también sabía que estos días festivos no eran de su nación, y nosotros somos parte de la nación de la que es Cristo, y esos son los israelitas. Nosotros somos una nación separada, una nación diferente a todas las demás. Lo que pasa es que tu iglesia cristiana y tu iglesia católica nunca te han dicho la verdad de quién eres tú, siendo que eres latino, de Latinoamérica, Centroamérica, Sudamérica, indio nativo o moreno. Nosotros tenemos una cultura, nosotros tenemos nuestras propias días festivos, y Dios nos los ha dado para que nosotros le demos honra a Él. Cuando tú le das honra a la Navidad, tú no les das honra a Dios, tú le das honra a la nación en la que estás viviendo, una nación pagana. Igualmente el día de dar gracias, o el día de las brujas, o el día de, no sé, el 4 de julio, estos días no son días de nosotros. Estos son los días paganos que los romanos han dado a esta nación para que ellos sigan. Tú, hombre mexicano, mujer mexicana, indio nativo, moreno, tú tienes tus días, y esos días están claramente escritos en la Biblia. y no importa lo que tú pienses, la verdad está allí. Y si tú no la sabes, es porque tu iglesia te ha escondido la verdad que está en la Biblia. Y aquí nosotros te la vamos a dar tal y como está y tal y como debe de ser. Y yo te animo a que vengas y no des tu punto de vista y ven en contra de mí y hazme saber que lo que yo estoy diciendo es una mentira, porque yo no creo que la vas a encontrar. Aquí nosotros decimos la verdad, la que está escrita en la Biblia. Salakia, go ahead, Akim.
So, like, I have the last verse 9.
Go ahead.
Acá en Proverbios, capítulo 24, versículo 9. El pensamiento del necio es pecado y abominación a los hombres el escarnecedor.
Ese verso es una abominación. Eso de lo que ellos, lo que esta nación nos está enseñando, no tiene nada que ver con la Biblia. Estos son los días festivos los que estás viendo. Aquí es donde se juntan los verdaderos creyentes de lo que dice la Biblia. Aquí somos nosotros los que nos juntamos a darle honra al Dios de la Biblia y no a los dioses de este mundo. Así que es mejor que uno mismo tome consideración de donde está y empieces a seguir la Biblia tal y como debe ser. Y lo vas a encontrar aquí en la Escuela Aranita de Conocimiento Práctico Universal, y solamente aquí es donde vas a agarrarle verdaderamente el entendimiento a lo que es la Biblia. Go ahead, Akim.
It's like, I don't want, if I could, si puedo, I don't want, lo que estás diciendo pesa mucho. Aquí le estamos enseñando la realidad de todo, ¿verdad? Y ¿verdad? El pensamiento, como dice el verso, ¿verdad? En Proverbios 24 y 9, el pensamiento de necesidad es pecado y el escarnecedor es abominación a los hombres, ¿verdad? Así es el opresor que cree que él hace todo el mal en este mundo y nosotros queremos hacer como él. Y como les decimos a ustedes, ¿verdad? Así es como se separa uno de este animal, ¿verdad? Por eso es que decimos que este opresor es un animal. No es por su color de la piel, no es porque, ¿verdad?, tienen los ojos azules, no. Es porque cómo se portan ellos con nosotros, ¿verdad? Lo voy a hacer en inglés. We don't, call the oppressor the devil. You know what I mean? I can't even say the white man because then my flagged. When I'm not calling him the devil because he's white, because he's blonde hair, blue eyed. You know what I mean? Not every class, every time, because you got groups out there like the Southern Poverty Law Center, and you got the Christian Church, which wants to label us racist and a hate group. You know what I mean? When we're just speaking on the evil of what America has done. My own people charge me. You know what I mean? My own people charge me when I speak against the crimes that what America has done to us. You know what I mean? Talking about if I don't like it here, I could leave, go back to Mexico. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy, man. That we're not allowed to speak on the evils that this place has done to us, man. And somehow, if we do mention it, we're deemed ungrateful. We're deemed hateful and all types of things. Meanwhile, the Jewish man can go find an 80-year-old woman somewhere in where they find that old lady, Arwan? They're in South America somewhere hiding, right? Meanwhile, he can, he's allowed to always remember his Holocaust. You know what I mean? But I have to forget mine. I have to let it go. It's in the past. I gotta love America now. You know what I mean? Because this is the greatest country ever. How dare I speak against it? When Raza, the only reason why America's the greatest country ever is because of your slave labor. And all the love you give it. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why. All the love and support that you have given this country is the reason why it's so great. And that this oppressor is not as great as he paints himself to be. His views on freedom, his views on all that is all BS. He really means to keep you as a slave. He really means to keep his foot on your neck.
God.
God.
But go ahead, Barack.
No, Salaki, you're damn right. It's like we're not even able to. It's like it's not even about holding anyone accountable at this point. It's like sometimes we're not even able to speak about our condition without people saying, oh, we're racist, or it was a long time ago, whatever the case is. When we're in 2022, right, and they're still able to pull out a Hitler's great niece, whatever the case is, from the jungle of Argentina and put it on trial. You understand? Well, if we say, the Spaniards did this to us, the Portuguese, the French, the English, it's a hate speech. We should forget about it. You understand? Well, the so-called Jewish man, he doesn't forget about the Nazis. You understand? Salakia. I'm gonna leave it at that right now. Salakia.
God, no, absolutely, absolutely. You're right about that, E. And that's why it's important that we get together, we have these classes that we talk about it, because here is our strength, like the Bible says, right? Here is our strength. When we speak about things like this, when we bring things like this to the forefront, here is our strength. When we get to talk about this, when we get to unleash all that's been held back, not from us, but even from our ancestors. Because remember, we are our ancestors. So we get to come back and speak about the things that were done to us, the atrocities committed, not only on us, but on our people. You know what I mean? And that's important, because if we don't do it, who will do this? Who will speak on these things? Who will bring this out? Who will be the ones to say, hey, man, you know what? This right here is the reason why we're in the condition that we're in. And we forgot. But you know what? We're not forgetting, man. It's the age of what is that? What do they call it? It's the age of of remembering of technology, and this age of technology gives us the how can I say the ease of looking for information. The ease of looking for information that we might be able to bring back, because they thought they hid it, but nothing can be hidden. Everything will be brought to light, and we're the ones who are bringing it all to light now. You know what I'm saying? Malagma, we're going on 2 hours already. I think we're gonna cut the show for, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, come on, concert, no sweat out of one. I mean, it's always like I said. Oh man, yeah, okay, yeah, we I mean, we started a little late.
When it's a good show, because we're like, oh man, we didn't even realize.
We go in all night, man. Do a.
We work tomorrow, so that's fine.
Yeah, but I gotta sleep too.
Yeah, no sweat. Go ahead, Malagma, drop it in, man. Last moment.
I mean, if I could, I'm gonna just say this, man. Like, for the raza, you know what I mean? Like, we bring this out, man, and we pray that y'all hear us, you know what I mean? Or so, like, we gonna keep prophesying into the wind, Of course, I pray our heart's desires for all of Israel to be saved, you know what I mean? And let me say this: when I mean saved, I'm not talking about what the Christians say, about thinking that you're gonna go with white Jesus and you're gonna be in a place in the clouds. Like this, Rasa, who needs to be saved? Who needs saving? We need it. You know what I mean? We need to be saved from our oppression, from the hell we're in, man. You know the proof that we need to be saved? The fact that we just celebrated a New Year's. You know what I mean? That's not our culture. You know what I mean? The New Year's of our oppressor. That's what we celebrated this weekend. You know what I mean? So that should let you know how destroyed we are. And the fact that you got your own people calling themselves Mexican American and speaking against illegal immigration from Raza. You know what I mean? That should let you know how destroyed we are in the mind, man, and who needs to be saved, man, because we, man, like Hosea 4:6 says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge, because we don't know the truth. That's why we celebrate these holidays. That's why you look like a damn fool standing in the lines buying presents for badass kids that treat you wrong, and then you know what I mean. They don't even credit for it.
Right, gone.
You know what I mean.
Then
you
right.
do other things.
Salaki, go ahead.
I'll say so. So that should let you know, man. But with that, you know what I mean. Keep tuning in, Rasa, and get in class. That's my best advice I could ever give. But go ahead, Barack Allah Salaki.
Go ahead, Barack Allah.
Salaki, I don't want Dawada for keeping the best for last. You understand? I don't have much to add besides what Officer Malakma says. Just said, you understand? Besides this, I'm gonna say it, so like la raza, nuestro pueblo, you understand? All brothers and sisters understand in whatever language you speak. L'homme blanc est le foutu diable dont parle la Bible. Blanc maintenant c'est diable blanc. You understand? The white man is the goddamn devil the Bible speaks
That's
of.
right.
You understand? El gringo es el maldito diablo de la Santa Biblia, un pinche gusano de todos los opresores que tenemos. El hombre blanco es el peor, es el pinche diablo que habla la Biblia. También sus mujeres, también sus hijos, sus mascotas, pinche Salakia. I'm not gonna, pinche diablos mal paridos, a la verga.
Okay, gone. Man, let me tell you something. I wanna give a shout out to Renat, the water for watching, to the sister Mariam, of course, always with us, the water for watching, for staying up with us, Tabaganaz, all the way out from the East Coast, Ayar, Sawap, the water for tuning in also, Sawap, you know what I'm saying? As always, we are the ISUPK coming out of 125th Street, Harlem, New York City. This is that show, La Pura Neta. We're out here every Monday, putting it out from the West Coast. My brother Barack Ayala up from Canada, always tuning in too. Everybody's welcome, man. You're welcome to jump on the show and participate with us at any time. There is no login time. You can jump in at any time you like. The next time we're on the show next Monday, you want to jump in, and just, chill with us, talk about it, give your point of view, or just let out that steam. You know what I'm saying? We're going to call it letting out steam. That's what we're going to change the name of the show. We're going to let it out, man. You got something to say. You got, you want to jump on. This is an open forum. You can jump in at any time and join us with this show. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Man, remember, man, we're the ones who are going to make the change. It's called resistance, and that's what it's all about. In my part, man, we want to resist. We're going to resist celebrating the holidays. We're going to resist celebrating the church and celebrating their way of life. We're going to resist all that this nation shoots at us. We're going to resist their LGBT. You know what I'm saying? We're going to resist their food. We're going to resist their holidays. We're here because we're going to make a difference for our kids. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's going to be. We're going to make a difference, and our generations are going to be the ones to see us do these things correctly, and they're going to follow behind us. Don't forget, man, we're the ISUPK, as always, right here, tuning in every Monday. Join us. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Till next week, Shalom Yahawah Shimya Washad Barakatum.
Que nunca olvides, el hombre en blanco es un pinche diablo.
That's right. Vámonos.
That's right. Órale.
Órale.